dun, dun. Good morning, everybody. Here's the coffee. Happy Saturday. There's a beautiful summer rain going on outside, and tomorrow is the longest day of the year. Tomorrow's Father's Day. So don't forget, if you got a father, make sure you do something because tomorrow's Father's Day. So, yesterday I said that we were going to be realistic and then unrealistic. So what did I mean? So first, realistic. Face what you got going on. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't make it better than it is, but don't make it worse than it is. So whatever problems you have, face them. If you want to lose weight, get on the scale, figure out exactly where you are, and figure out exactly how much weight you want to lose and in what period of time. Don't make it worse than it is, but don't sugarcoat it either. So like with your debt, if you're in massive amounts of debt and you want to get out of it, what happens with people when they get in that situation is they don't face it. The bills come and they just put them in a box. You got to get them out, you got to open it up, and you got to face it. And you got to add it all up, write it all down, and then say, here's what my plan is going to be in order to deal with this debt. And then you got to start working the plan. Now, we've talked about the ultimate success formula a million times. Know your outcome, take massive action, have sensory acuity, and then change your approach. And you've heard me say a dozen times, never leave the sight of a goal without taking some type of action. Okay, so number one, be realistic. Look at where you are, look at what you have. But don't just look at the bad, also look at the good, right? Look at the assets that you have. And there's going to be a lot more than you think when you first take a look. When you take inventory of your assets, remember things like your education. Remember things like the people that you know. Remember things like the phone that you're looking at right now. Remember your library card. Remember that you live in the United States if you're talking, if whomever's watching this is in the United States. So remember all of those assets that you have, okay? Then be unrealistic. And what do I mean by that? When you decide to set goals, it's your choice, but set them high. The old adage, if you shoot for the moon, you end up in the stars. There's truth to that. Not only because you can go achieve significant things, because there's just no limit as to what human beings can do, let's face it. But it also should inspire you. If your goal doesn't inspire you, then it's not the right goal. Your goal should wake you up in the morning. Your goal should give you the fuel in order to do this stuff. If you're not driven, then you've got impotent goals. So be unrealistic in your goals and look at them and have them get you excited. One of the things that you can do is write down a perfect day. If you were to achieve all of the things that you wanted to achieve, what would a perfect day in your life look like? Who would you be around? What would you see? What would you do? So be unrealistic in terms of what you're going to do. By the way, and make sure you look at it as 5 years. We tend to overestimate what we can do in a year, but we underestimate what we can do in 5. You go back and you look at what can be accomplished in 5 years. Look at 5 years of your life, and amazing things can be accomplished. Now, I've never really specifically talked about when I said take action. What does that mean? Like, what does that look like? So you set a goal. The first thing that you should do is anything that takes you to the next step in achievement of that goal. And that should happen like before you move on and do anything else. Once you set a goal and you write down your reasons why you want this goal, you do your paragraph. And as you're doing your assessment of the assets that you have, then you should do something towards the achievement of that goal. Any step that takes, it's not in your brain. It's a phone call. It's going and visiting something. It's looking something up online and doing some research. It's an actual physical step. And, a point that we always got to remember, especially on a Saturday, my message for the Saturday today, everything matters. Everything that you do matters. There's an old physics joke. What's the matter? Everything's the matter, because everything's made out of matter. It's a physics joke. But as you go through your Saturday, everything that you do in your life matters because it all has an impact. The people that are successful because of discipline. They're successful because they do the little things all the time. They don't do them when it's easy. They do them when it's hard. They do them when they don't want to. They do them even when they don't feel like doing them. They do the little disciplines. The people that are successful in terms of staying in great physical shape, do they only exercise when they feel like it? Do they only exercise when the weather cooperates? No, they exercise every day. How do they eat? They eat great 80, 90% of the time, and they stay within certain parameters. Again, I've used this example before, but I just personally think it's a great example. How does the military do it? The military takes people from all over the country, from all different, religions, races, levels of income, education, and in 6-8 weeks, they crank out the same product. How do they do it? It's all the stuff that they've been talking about. They start out with the little things. And where do they start? Physiology, right? You stand tall, you shout out your answers, you get up every morning early, and what do? You're standing tall, you're dressed impeccably, your bed is impeccable, and then they use physiology. After you shout out answers, then they go run. And when they're running, what do? Incantations. My Corps, our Corps, your Corps, the Marine Corps. Every meal is a banquet, every paycheck a fortune. They do those incantations. And they start with the little things. There's got to be inspection, and they inspect everything. They inspect your bed. They inspect your footlocker. They inspect your haircut. They inspect your nails. They inspect your feet. They inspect everything because everything matters. Because when you start living at high standards in every area of your life, then you're going to start producing little steps are going to produce great results. So to produce an excellent soldier, the most outstanding soldier, they start with all the little stuff and then they go higher. What else do they do? If one person in the unit fails, who gets punished? The entire unit. Why? That way they all live by those standards. Because if they do that, then the most successful one in that unit, they all have to live to that person's standards. So whoever you surround yourself with is who you become. The Army and the Marine Corps and the Navy and the Air Force, they learned how to do this stuff a long time ago, and they do it super quickly. And they start out with physiology, and they start out with the little things. The way that you dress, the way that you do your bed, the way that you keep your hair, the way that you stand. Incantation after incantation after incantation. And those little things and those little disciplines over time are what result in the greatest soldiers the world has ever seen. Sorry, when I do that with my mouth, it's because I'm thirsty. It's dry first thing in the morning. So when you go through your Saturday today, remember that everything matters. Everything that you do matters. The little disciplines are what make all the difference in the world in terms of what your overall result is going to be. So if your goal is a financial one, then you don't take a break on a Saturday with regards to that. You still take steps toward achieving those results. If your goal is with regards to your physical body, then again, you don't take a break towards achieving those steps. Everything that you do is designed to work you towards that stuff, and the little steps matter first. So be unrealistic in terms of the outcomes that you want, And as you move forward, especially on a Saturday, remember, everything matters. Everything that you do is important towards the achievement of those goals. Don't take a day off. You've got great opportunities. There's great time. Do something, even if it's only a half an hour, even if it's only those little disciplines. But you know what? Once you do those little disciplines, they're going to grow and they're going to build on it, because when you do a little bit of discipline and you achieve something, what do you get? Confidence. You start to get confidence and you start to feel like you're going to achieve the outcomes that you want. And this starts to build each day, just a little bit each day, just a little bit more each day. Your confidence builds, your achievements start to build. And just like anything else, just success is about building momentum. And once you start building that momentum, it'll get more and more and more, and it'll get easier and easier and easier. So for Saturday, my message is be unrealistic, set super high goals. Why not? We only go around on this merry-go-round one time, we think, so we might as well set super high goals, and everything matters. Everything that you do matters towards the outcomes that you want. So pay attention. Have a great day, everybody. Let's take care of each other out there.